All right. You know what? We're starting to wind spring down. The guys I think, are really giving great effort. We've been pretty healthy. I think Mario Mora might have broken a finger today, but hopefully he can just tape an aspirin on it and it'll be okay. We're working on the passing game. That was a point of emphasis. Trying to become more efficient and penetrating, spread the field out. And some days it's kind of like making sausage. It sure doesn't look good when you're making it, but it sure tastes good when you're done with it. And so, but we're making progress there. I felt like the first two quarterbacks, particularly, and Hank Gibbs is doing some good things as a third string guy right now. I mean, we haven't set a depth chart, but I think he's really stepping forward. Defensively, Devon Harris, I might have mentioned him after the scrimmage, but he keeps on, showing up, and he's still a little bit light. I think he's, I don't know, 2.25, but he's got good range, and he's having a very good spring, and that's part of what we're trying to do is establishing depth chart and depth and things of that nature. We worked heavily on punt blocks today. Didn't get as many as what we'd like, and that was a full out drill. So we got to keep on continuing to work on that. The spring game will be set up, and that, as you guys know, is going to be open to the public. And I think it's the first day that people aren't going to be required to wear masks. Obviously, that's a personal preference, but you're not going to be required. So our players will be looking forward to that. But nonetheless, this scrimmage, typically the scrimmage before the spring game, is really, really important to start to solidify where that depth chart sets. We'll do some evaluation that next week. Spring game is some things to give them some activity of a game-like deal, but many times the evaluation is pretty much in the book before that. But that'll be another opportunity. So that's kind of where we're at. We had great weather today, which we embraced because you never know how it is here in Laramie. And with that being said, I'll open up to questions. Yep. Michael.
Oh, sorry. You spoke about Treyton Welch last week and how he had really kind of stood out to you. And I know we're talking to him in a little bit. What specifically has he done, or where has he improved the most?
Well, he's put on some lean muscle mass, and he's running better. He's becoming much more comfortable with the route tree at the tight end position. He's becoming a very capable blocker simply because of his strength and his athleticism. He was a wide receiver in high school, and so somewhat of a transition. But the other thing that all the players have noticed, how he positions his body, and he's got really strong hands. I mean, if he goes up for a contested ball that's between him and a defender, I mean, 9 times out of 10 he's coming down with the ball, and so he's a player who finds a way to get open. We've not had, I think, a really dominant tight end since probably Hollister. And he's had a good NFL career. And so I think there's a lot out there for Treyton. He owns his work. He works really hard, and he's got a lot of ability, and we're going to utilize his skill set. And if we can, have an attacking tight end, that once again is going to open up that playbook for Coach Pilesett. Yep, Cody.
I'm sure you knew Treyton played hockey, but did you know that he has the second most receiving yards in Minnesota high school history above Larry Fitzgerald?
I'm baffled that you have the time to dig into some things like that.
Me too, Coach.
But that's impressive. That's why you guys are in the media, and that's why I'm coaching. That's why you can give me all the advice on how to call plays. He's really athletic, and I did not know all those other things. We're really fortunate to have him. Tim was at Iowa, and I thought they were gonna recruit him, and I know he pounded the table, and they went a different direction, and we jumped up and down, and he's really embraced Wyoming, and I really believe he's good. Well, you can just see the athleticism that he has. Tracy.
So the lack of the tight end as being really a part of the receiving core in the last few years has been more the tight ends than your game plan at that time?
I'm being sarcastic. No, it was kind of a combination of both things. I don't think we utilized the tight end very well, but a lot of it, we did not have dynamic, explosive players, and that's no knock on where we're at, but I just think we're in a different place right now. I mean, Treyton he runs like a wide receiver. He can post up, on option routes. He, like I said, he's got really strong hands. Every time he's out there and the defender's out there, he just seems to catch it. And so that gives you so much more confidence scheming up some things for your tight end position. And the other guy that's doing well too at that position is Parker Christensen. And so we've got kind of a 1-2 punch now, and that's going to really, really help us. We have got to open up our offense, and having some weapons like that is certainly going to be able to give us those weapons to go to. Cody.
Craig, I rewatched the Boise State game last night from last year. Easton Gibbs is all over the field. He's making plays. It's his first ever start. Is there any chance that, him and Chuck are battling it out for that weak side linebacker position?
They are battling it out. And one of the things that I found through the years is, nothing brings out a good in a man than competition and inter-squad competition. And he's got a hip pointer right now, which a lot of guys would find their way to get off the field, and he's finding his way to stay on the field. He's got a lot of ability, and he and Chuck are certainly battling that position. And what we have 3 linebackers who have really game-ready experience. And in that game, he played really well. And he showed up, and he's showing up this spring as well. Michael.
I'm just curious, this is got to be the first time in a while that you haven't been watching the NFL draft with anticipation of somebody getting taken. What is this weekend like for you as a fan? Do you just watch it casually? What is this like for you?
Well, you follow some of the guys. I certainly, Trey Lance up at NDSU is a guy that, I did not have a chance to recruit, but no, his mother was from Breckenridge, was right down the road from Fargo there, and kind of know that area. And you're always, I know that Josh Allen had done a promo for Lance, and but it was interesting going through that process. I remember all the teams circling around, everybody's finding the golden goose, the quarterback, and at that time it was Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Josh. I think there was Josh Rosen. I'm trying to think who else was in there. Guy that plays for Baltimore. Yeah. And so they were all circling around, and the NFL really does a phenomenal job with the draft. They've turned that into a major event, and we don't have any